what's up, y'all? It's your main man, Jay Sands. Sands on sports, hip-hop, and sports entertainment at its finest. That's right, y'all. The big kid is at it again. And we got my man back. He wasn't here last week with Jametta Rose, but he's back. He's back. My man, Elder Sensei from the Artifacts. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. Everything's good.
Oh, dude, you was in Columbus with my main man, huh?
Right. If you look, but that's dope. You know, I got a relationship with both of y'all, so like I can go out there and work with him, and we can come on.
Yeah. Hey, look, I gotta get up in there. How about that?
You're more than welcome, bro.
Yeah. But everything's good with you, El?
Yeah, everything's straight.
Okay, awesome, man, awesome. Well, I believe on this podcast we want to have some other gentlemen jump in, but right now, we got everybody in the room. We got my man Nelson Cooper. Nelson, welcome to the podcast. How are you feeling today?
Good. Thank you. I got my second COVID vaccine shot. My arm hasn't fallen yet in the morning, but I'm feeling good.
Man, hey, Nelson, check this out. Can you do me a favor and give me like a 20-second bio about yourself, please?
Yeah, born and raised in Seattle, played baseball in college at North Carolina Central University HBCU program. Been in Pittsburgh for 5 years in my professional career. I work at PNC Bank in our professional sports lending group, so we lend to all of the major teams and leagues across the United States. And then in my outside of work career, I started Pittsburgh Hardball Academy, a program or organization that's a nonprofit that is trying to help minority players and underserved, underprivileged kids get into college using the games of baseball and softball. And I also coach in college at California University of Pennsylvania. So,
you coach at Cal? Okay, Cal, you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't sleep a lot. I drink a lot of coffee at 9 o'clock at night. But,
Hey, sleep is overrated, honestly, man. Especially when you're a young guy. Sleep is overrated, man. So this is what I got. I got to put you on the spot. Can I have your favorite football team?
I've always liked the Steelers and the Seahawks. That's kind of weak? That's a weak excuse. Cop out.
It's gonna roll though. We can rock.
I like the Seahawks more, but I've always liked the Steelers because my dad's from Cincinnati and he was a Roethlisberger fan because he went to Miami, Ohio. So, but right now I think I'm going with the Steelers.
Okay. What about basketball?
None. Protests since the Sonics left. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Protested. And what about baseball?
My poor Mariners, my Seattle Mariners, yeah.
Wow, so I guess you were a big Ichiro fan, huh?
Ichiro, Edgar Martinez, Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, Ken Griffey, man. Yo, that swing. Ken Griffey might have the sweetest swing I ever saw, man. It's effortless, and he's going to knock – wow. Anyway. But check this out. What sports did you play growing up in Seattle?
Played baseball and I played tennis.
Okay.
I would say they're about equal. My favorite athlete is Roger Federer. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Roger Federer. Just a phenomenal athlete. And that's what we kind of use in our training. I always, and Mike knows this, he's probably sick of hearing about it, but I try to link other sports to the kids. So if we're training a swing in baseball, try to connect it to different sports. If it's hockey, if it's tennis, other kind of hand-eye coordination sports. So tennis is another big sport. Yeah.
That's what's up. What's up. Pittsburgh Hardball Academy, man. That's great, man. That's a great thing you're doing. So what I like to do now is switch all the focus over to the guest of the hour, the main man with all the power, Coach Mike Wilson is in the building. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. I've never had an introduction like that before in my life.
Oh, man, look here, man. I got to roll out the red carpet for you, man. Got to roll out. And like I said, for anybody listening, Mike has known me before I even knew myself. You know what I mean? So this is just great to have this conversation with you. And guess what? Today's opening day, and we're talking baseball. Matter of fact, this is episode 47 of season 2. So this is the Mel Blunt episode right here. For everybody who knows what 47 is, this is the Mel Blunt episode of Sands on Sports. Now, Mike, could you do me and you can go maybe 30, 45 seconds because you got a lot of history. Can you please give me like a 20, 30 something second bio about yourself, please?
Nelson knows I can't do that.
2 hours later.
My first coaching job was in 1969, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
I played baseball in college at a little school called Shattern State. Kept on played with your dad in the 70s, and we played all the way through and I quit when I was 46. I think your dad was probably still playing at that same time. Mm-hmm. And coached high school, coached college summer leagues. Then I was lucky enough to get the head coaching job at Duquesne University. Yeah. And did that for 17 years until we got some new young AD in there that decided to drop 4 men's sports, including baseball, and put more money into football.
Yeah.
So I've been working with the Boys and Girls Club, the RBI program, probably about 14, 15 years now. And the best thing to happen was Nelson coming in on that, because we were just floundering before that.
Yeah.
But Nelson, he knows how to make things work. He's a shaker and a mover. So thanks to Nelson, we really got the whole program well organized. The kids are benefiting more than ever right now. Kids are starting to knock on our door where we used to have to go out and beg the kids to play. So I'm blessed with that. As soon as I get there, I just get pumped up to work with those guys. And I still do a lot of individual private lessons also. When they dropped the program at Duquesne, I was 63, and I was considered an old man for college ball. I couldn't get back in, but this is all working out well.
Awesome.
And of course, as you know, my son Josh played in the major leagues. He played for 9 different teams over 9 different seasons. So he bounced around a lot, but he did get to play with Ken Griffey and Ichiro, and we have a great picture of Josh and Ken Griffey high-fiving each other on Mother's Day. Josh hit a home run with a pink bat, and Griffey was at home plate giving him a big high five. So it's a great picture I got.
Well, Mike, you're from Pittsburgh, right?
Yes.
Okay, got you. Well, what sports did you play growing up in Pittsburgh?
Baseball, and some more baseball.
So, well, that's what people don't understand. Like, even when I was coming up, kind of like in the early 70s, the Pirates, baseball was the main thing in Pittsburgh. Like the Steelers were cool, but we are family. You know what I mean? Yeah. I always think of We Are Family, disco music, how they used to have the little disco after the Pirate games and all that stuff. Yeah. So the Pirates was the hot thing for the longest in Pittsburgh, and then the Steelers caught up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and passed them.
Yeah, definitely passed.
I played some tennis too, played a lot of pickup basketball, but as far as organized sports go, it's just baseball.
Okay, got you. Now this is what I want to do, and this is, man, look, this is going to be history right here, because we're getting it from somebody who really knows. Mike, can I have your top 5 Pittsburgh Pirates of all time? Your starting 5 Pittsburgh Pirates of all time.
Well, Clementi's going to be top of that list.
That's right.
Okay. And then I'm going to go with Al Oliver. Ooh. Because I learned a lot about hitting watching Al Oliver.
Yeah.
Okay. Andy Van Slyke. So I'm old school.
Yeah. Van Slyke.
Yeah. Willie Starnes was going to jump in there next.
Willie. And Pops.
Yeah. And then Bill Mazeroski.
Wow. Bill Mazeroski. Hey, for some reason, I thought Hannes Wagner was going to be in there.
Never saw him play, other than on some video. So, yeah, I mean, shoot, really good player. That's for doggone sure.
Mike, you missed the best player. This is controversial. The best player of all time, Barry Bonds. What about
Barry? I'm a Barry fan, Mike. I'm a Barry fan. I'm sorry. I'm a Barry fan.
I definitely learned a lot watching his swing, too.
Yeah.
Used a lot of his stuff. I mean, if you remember, a lot of people used to say you can't hit if you got a hitch.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people call Barry Bonds' swing that he has a hitch in it.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just his way of a timing mechanism.
Yeah.
His hands would go down, back up and in, and then he would just unload.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Deuce, we have somebody else in the room, special guest from the city of New York City. We have Nick, and Nick, if I say your name wrong, please correct me. Nick Duente, am I saying it right?
Deonte, it's all good.
Deonte, no doubt. Okay, now, I met Nick, and what year did I meet you, Nick?
Geez, 02?
Okay, 02. I had a concert at St. John's University. And Nick went to St. John's at that time, and I remember you sent me a picture on Twitter, like, yeah, I was at the concert, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, you remember that show?
Of course, man. It was. I was there with some friends, and we were happy to have something over there at St. John's, and I don't know, a guy by the name of Kanye West wound up showing up.
Yeah, Kanye was there. Yep. It was Master Ace. Talib, Kanye, GLC was there, Lone Callus, me, J. Rawls, and who else?
Black Rob,
L.
It was a very interesting, a very interesting show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and,
it
was, and I see my good brother Elder Sensei here, and he just got done doing some work with J. Rawls, right? And I know they're working on some stuff, and yeah, so it's been good, and talking about baseball this time, and I know you played, and so I was looking forward to coming here because there are some hip hop connections in baseball and vice versa, and I'm glad to see both those things coming together.
Dope. Well, check this out, Nick. You're a teacher, but you also run Examine Baseball. That's the name of it. Okay, Examine Baseball. Okay, dope. Now, can you do me a favor, please, and give me like a 20-second bio about yourself?
Me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm a high school teacher here in New York City, athletic director at my school. I did radio for 11 years. That's how I met Al. That's how I run into you. So I did college and independent hip hop radio. I DJ'd, for quite a while. I have a column right now with Forbes, and so that column focuses mostly on baseball, culture, collecting, and some volleyball too, because I coach that as well. I played baseball collegiately at actually at Queens College, and so I played there as Division II, and I played 3 seasons total of college baseball. I started out at Springfield in Massachusetts, transferred to Queens, and I played my junior and senior year. My sophomore junior year. I got hurt after my junior year, so my senior year I put it away so I could graduate early, but. That was baseball, and I played up until, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago with adult leagues and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, dope. So what sports did you play growing up?
So in high school, I ran track. I played basketball and baseball in high school. But I basically played everything, right? Just growing up here in the city, like, as the season changed, you played, and like whatever was out there, you got exposed to, and whether it was like playing, handball in a park, tennis, touch football, little league football, soccer, like I had even volleyball, like I had my hand in everything. And, when you're athletic and you're an athlete, like you can play, right? And so, if you could throw and catch, like you could start playing everything. And I learned that. And, man, I think playing sports, I don't want to say it saved me, but it always gave me something to do. And, even as an adult still playing, like there's just something about being able to get on the field, the court, or wherever it is, and get away from whatever it else is that you need to do.
Yeah.
Right. You can escape for that hour, 2-3 hours that you're playing, whatever sport it is that you're engaging in. You can get away from all the pressures and all the other stuff of the job and everything else that comes along with it.
That's awesome. Well, hey, thanks for that, Nick. And check it out. Y'all hear this sound right here? Y'all hear this sound? That means we're going out of the first quarter and we're going into the second quarter. All right. So check this out, Mike. We're going to switch it back to you and everybody. Everybody just jump in. I'm going to try to shut up more and let you guys go off. So, Mike, I want to ask you, did you see any games today for opening day? And kind of what does that feeling of opening day give to you?
I did not see any games today because I had lessons. I had 4 lessons today.
Okay.
Starting at 1 o'clock. But yeah, I mean, we used to all skip school. Now they let the kids out of school to go to opening day. But it was a great feeling to always skip school and go to opening day. Mm-hmm. So it's special for me being a baseball guy. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I want to ask you, do you think the Dodgers are going to, who you have the Dodgers winning it all? Who do you think is going to win it all this year?
I don't get into all that.
You let them play the games.
I want to see good baseball.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's not going to be in it. It won't be the Pirates.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm still going to root for the Pirates like crazy because Donnie Kelly's the bench coach with the Pirates, and him and my son played high school ball together.
Okay.
So they both played in the big leagues together. But I just like to watch good baseball.
Good baseball. Yeah.
Pirates is my team if you're going to ask me, but you know.
Yeah, hey, Pirates. Check it out. I'm gonna go down with the Pirates sinking ship every year. I don't care. I'm gonna wave the flag, Jolly Roger sinking. We gonna party.
Yeah.
Like the Titanic. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna charge up. It's emotional though to be a Pirates fan. But hey, I'm a Buccos fan.
I wear my Pirates stuff a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
I wear it all more. Yeah.
You see, so let's here, see if I can get it back here, but it says 21 on it.
Yes, that's right.
It's from the Clemente Museum.
No doubt.
And I don't know if you've ever been there.
Nope.
Then that's when you come to Pittsburgh, that's what we're gonna do. You know, I'm real good friends with the guy that owns it.
Okay.
And we can go down there anytime.
Definitely.
Anytime.
Definitely.
So we don't need an appointment. We'll just go in and have some fun walking around the place.
Okay, this is a father friendly show. We love girl dads, we love boy dads, and you're a major league dad. So can you paint a picture for me as a father, your son's first day in the big leagues?
Yeah, when they're playing Boston, wear black and gold.
I don't remember, the first day. What I remember is his first hit.
Okay.
And he almost hit one out of. They were playing. He was with the Marlins.
Okay.
So they were playing down there in the old stadium, and he hit one that was about 6 inches off the home run line on the wall out there in left field.
Yeah.
And but the biggest hit I remember is in 2007. He's playing at Tropicana with Tampa Bay. Roger Clemens is on the mound. And it's second and third, 2 outs. First base is empty. It's a 3-2 count. And I go, oh, shit. Clemens is just going to throw him that 3-2 slider.
Yeah.
Josh is going to face it, strike 3. Well, Clemens' attitude is, come on, it's me and you, let's go. And so he challenges him with a fastball. And Josh turned it around. A P-Rod, the center fielder, broke in, and then he had to run back because he went over his head and hit off the wall. And next thing I know, Josh has got a stand-up triple. And I'm going, holy crap, that's my kid on third. That's Roger Clemens on the mound. I said, Lord, if I never get to see him get another hit, that'll suffice for the rest of my life.
Awesome.
It's really cool being there, in a big league game and your kid does well.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever met Josh. Seems like I would have met Josh maybe but I don't ever remember meeting Josh.
Yeah. No, he's 40 years old now.
He's what?
40.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might have. I don't know. But he's a scout now. I seen. He's a scout for the Tigers now.
Detroit.
Okay. Awesome. Well, check this out. Y'all gonna be like, man, that was a quick first quarter. Well, it was. We're out the first quarter. We're out the second quarter. Now we're going to halftime. Now halftime, fellas. This is what I want to ask you. Did you guys do NCAA brackets?
I didn't this year. I did this year. Man.
We were talking about that before, but
Okay. Did you do a bracket this year, Mike?
No.
Okay. Can I show you guys my bracket? Yeah. Let me get the trash can. All right. My bracket's somewhere deep in here. It's been here, I think, after the first weekend, because I had Ohio State and Oklahoma State, and those were my 2 teams in the Final Four. So, again, Jay Sand's bracket is in the trash can, and that's where it remains, definitely. And also, for halftime, Pirates won today.
I told you what's the name of Gonzaga was going to be in there. I told you that.
Oh, you did say that, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So how's your bracket? Did you do a bracket, Sensei?
No, but I I said, I didn't watch enough to make a bracket, but from what I did see, I knew Gonzaga was going to be either in that top 8 or 4. And I was right. And I was almost right by Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They went a little further than I thought they would have, but like I said, bro, that dude, that guy, Gonzaga, I think he was strong guard, shooting guard. He was super nice.
Yeah.
And they kept giving, they kept saying, he was the top dude in the country. And the games I saw him play, I understood why. And they got a lot of big dudes on their squad, too. So it was it was unpredictable for a lot of people that everybody thought was going to be in it. But even look at Michigan. Don't they got to play them, right?
No, they lost. Michigan's out of there. They lost.
That's who they played.
Who beat Michigan?
Gonzaga.
I want to say Gonzaga.
I think it was.
We're gonna find out real quick, Sensei. I want to say UCLA beat them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, UCLA beat them. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to be watching the rest of the time for enjoyment because, again, I pick Pitt and I pick the Cincinnati Bearcats. You know what I mean? I pick Pitt because I'm from Pittsburgh and I pick my alma mater, Cincinnati. And that's been the worst, the last 20 years picking Pitt. That's been torture every year picking those two, and they're out in the first, second round, man. So, yeah. We will see. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the game, man. Well, hey, you hear the sound. That means round of halftime, and we are going into the third quarter. Now, Mike, I want to ask you, and Nelson as well, is that one of the things that I don't see, that I saw when I was a kid growing up, are black kids playing baseball. Again, I live in a predominantly black city, Baltimore, Maryland. Kids here don't play baseball, man. You give them a baseball, they're holding it like they never held a baseball. So again, what can we do to get more black kids in America, not from other countries, but from America, playing the game?
Go ahead, Nelson.
Thanks. I think the thing that has been the issue, there's two big issues. One, I'm a baseball person, right? But just if you look at it from the outside, baseball is not fun, and it's not marketed the same way that basketball and football are. Right? There's no LeBron James in baseball. Not even just saying black or white. There's just not a star that has the same personality that kids really gravitate to. So I think there's just a marketing issue, firstly, and then secondly, the game is just too expensive in the inner cities, and and I hate to say that sometimes, saying all black people are poor, right? But if we're being realistic, black people in this country have less income than whites on a one-to-one basis, right?
Tremendously.
So when we're thinking about just the game, I know in Pittsburgh, I can only speak to travel teams and stuff like that around here. If you want to make it to college, you want to make it to the next level to play, you have to get on a travel team. You have to do the specialized training and all that stuff. The hourly rates average around here for training is $40, $50 for half an hour, right? So even if you're a middle-class family, working family, married, a couple kids, that's not really affordable at all. Nonetheless, if you're in an inner city situation, and then, you get on a travel team, it's $3,000 a year from age 8 to 18. Then you're paying for, like I said, the training, and then the travel, and then the hotel, all this stuff. Are we a PG podcast?
No, go let it go.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure. I'm filtering my language.
Let it go.
You pay for all this shit, and it just doesn't make any sense. So there's an article by USA Today. The average family pays $8,000 a year for their kid to play baseball. Right? And so that's just, for any family there. And I think with one, the marketing issue, two, not having the resources to do it, and three, the kids just not having the support system in the community, having people that are willing to go and teach them the game, right? Yeah. There's so many that are willing to teach football, and those kids gravitate to that, but it's difficult, at baseball. So what we've done here in Pittsburgh, as Mike said, he's been around for a while with RBI, and I have another partner that does this with us. His name is Brian Jacobson, and he's been around the game in Pittsburgh for a long time. But our goal was, one, with the RBI program, which is a Pirates program, was to just get more kids playing in general, regardless of skill level. It doesn't matter if they're terrible or great, just get them playing, right? So that league has grown with the RBI program and the partnership with the city. There's about 1,300 kids in Pittsburgh playing. Then where we started Pittsburgh Hardball Academy is, hey, okay, finally we've got some kids playing. Some of these kids are talented and need to make it to the next level. Let's have an organization that can do all of the things, replicate all the things that travel ball organizations do, but have a more holistic approach, help them on the academic side, on the social side, so they can effectively transition into college, be ready to go to college. So our program, you know, we do the tournaments, we do the training, SAT prep, volunteer, NCAA clearinghouse, all this stuff. The most any kid paid for a program last year was $300. And that included, hey, you need a hotel, travel out of the state, we got you, we'll cover it. So it's been really good. We've had a lot of results. We've been doing it, you know, the hardball part of the program for 15 months. Well, I guess it's April now, 16 months. We've had 15 kids commit to college to play, including one who, we met the kid last year. He was adopted. He showed up at the Boys and Girls Club with a suitcase, and his parents weren't in the country. And long and short of it, you know, the kid was pretty good. You saw the talent, but it's a kid, you can see the talent immediately. But people like Mike, people like myself, people like Brian, you know, for no money, we trained, worked with him and stuff. So that kid went from pretty talented to, you know, almost a full ride scholarship to Ole Miss, the number 3 team in the country in a year, right? And so it's the same kid where if he didn't have a program like this, and it's not just in Pittsburgh, we have to have these programs throughout the country. If you have people that are into this, right, you can take that kid with the talent and get them there, right? Because without a program or without people being really interested in that same kid with talent, who knows where he would have ended up. He might have just been a high school player. He might have maybe made it to college, whatever, but you know, you need the organizations and support systems to help these kids. So that's the biggest thing, is just having support systems, organizations, and the MLB tries with their RBI stuff. And I'm not going to say all of my opinions on that, but you know, it's a multi-billion-dollar organization. They can do more if they want to. Right?
Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
I went down to Perfect Game, I think 3-4 years ago. My college coach had called me and he said, look, one of my coaches bailed on me, and I need someone to come for a week to coach. He's like, I know you coach, come down. And that was my first time really being around travel ball since I played. And when I played, it wasn't as expensive. When I started running the numbers, we took a team from New York City down to Atlanta for Perfect Game. And to go down there for a week, you're talking 7 days of hotels, and that's 7 rooms or 8 rooms at $150 a night times 7. Times the bus rentals. We rented 2 vans. That was like $3,000. You flew everyone out there. $300-400 a ticket times 25 people or 20 people. Another $10,000. Perfect Game charges you like 2 G's just to be in the tournament, right? So you're almost at $20,000 just to take a team down there for a week.
Wow.
And so what they wound up doing is, you know, you had some kids who were paying full boat, and they needed to fill out the roster. And they took some other city kids, and they're like, look, just pay $400 or $500. But then other kids were there for the season, and it was $3,000-4,000. And I watched some of the kids play, and I'm like, y'all are like borderline D3 players, right? And they're playing to like, you know, play here. And when I looked at it harder about like the original topic of like, okay, what does MLB need to do to like increase access? MLB needs to come in and subsidize programs from like 5-year-old on up. Like, you need to put a ball and a glove and a bat in kids' hands early. It doesn't have to be 5 years old, 8, 9, 10. Get them like feeling confident about throwing, catching, hitting. And I've seen a little bit of this stuff they've done when I've like gone to clinics, but you have to take the financial aspect out of it for families, because otherwise the barrier is there from day one and they're not going to go. Now, you said like the gentleman that you were able to get like a scholarship for Ole Miss, and it's still not a full ride. If kids are getting in the sport, and whether there's, you know, baseball's hard to get a contract at 18 out of high school. It's hard to get signed out of high school. I think New York City last year before, we had like 1 or 2 kids drafted total out of the city. So out of the public schools, like we're not really getting kids drafted out of New York City public schools. They have to go to JUCO or they're going to 4-year schools. But if I know if I'm playing baseball and put all that time in, and I pay $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a year from the age 8 to 18, and that got me a quarter tuition scholarship at a private university, so that paid $15,000. I'm still on the hook for another $45,000 plus the room and board. I can't afford to go to college to play baseball. And so why in football, which is a fully funded sport, or basketball is a fully funded sport, why am I going to put all this money investment into it when the chance to sign a pro contract is minimal out of high school, right? People are going to look at me and say, okay, well, that player, he's raw. He's got talent, but it's unrefined, right? You hear all that coded language that, kind of scouts use. And so, you already kind of got that strike against you. And it's like, if I can't afford to do this, why am I going? So if MLB needs to step in and either subsidize Little League, like I would love to see like Little League make more of a comeback. So there's more like the local, so not everything's travel ball, because not all these kids are travel players. But the parents are willing to throw down $3,000-$4,000 to say my kid's on the 11-year-old elite select team. What does that mean at 11 years old? Like kids are still growing, right? And so, if you're a young kid and you want to play and you're looking and you're like, yo, bats are $400, which they are, the good metal bats are $400, and like a good infielder's glove, outfielder's glove's $200. Like, I mean, it'll last you 10 years, but a good glove is not cheap if you take care of it. And so you have to reduce these barriers to entries if you want kids to come in, but you need to get them hooked younger. It's like Nelson said, they're just going to choose other sports. So if you want kids to enjoy baseball, they have to taste it and find some success early, or they're going to leave.
Yeah, and interesting point you say there as well is, even if they do choose baseball, like you said, because all the travel stuff, if they're good and they choose it, there's still a significant barrier, because, okay, if I'm a coach, I can't go watch all the, Pittsburgh Public Schools, New York Public Schools games, but I can go to the Perfect Game Tournament, set up my chair, sit there, watch 80 teams play across the weekend, right? So then you have kids that aren't even nearly as talented, but they have the resources, so they can get on the radar in front of the coach, right? Where I'll just be completely honest, if we don't have Mike, someone with all the knowledge and background, I don't know that our kids would be getting the same opportunities, because he gives us all the credibility in the world. If Mike calls someone, okay, this kid's good, they're going to listen. So now we have the credibility because Mike is aligned with our program. They meet me, and, I owe a lot of what I'm doing as a coach to Mike. But, say if he wasn't here, if Mike said, I'm just going to coach the suburban kids and not give them opportunity, then our kids never get an opportunity on the radar, right? And so it's just, like you said, if MLB's set up, they try in certain cities, they try in the cities that are easy. Fuck, anybody can go to Atlanta and get 10 players, right, out of Atlanta when there's 1 million black people living there, right? But when Pittsburgh, there's 5%, how do you get the talent out of there, or other cities that are like that? So it's interesting. There's certain things that they try, but the last thing I want to make on this point that I thought was interesting, we brought some kids down to Charlotte, North Carolina to HBCU showcase. And, one thing, and it's kind of like a jaded view, like in the city of Pittsburgh, the way it's set up, most of the African-American people just aren't extremely, there's like a huge class disparity. There's not really a middle class that exists in Pittsburgh. We went down to Charlotte for this HBCU showcase, and I was kind of expecting RBI kids, kind of underserved kids to be there, but they're just travel ball kids with tons of money that happen to be black, right? So it's the same issue. They happen to have the resources to be there, but what about that class underneath, all those kids with the talent that don't have the resources? So it's interesting. It seems like MLB is kind of aligned to the kids with the resources. Like I've seen them say Hunter Green was an RBI kid. He wasn't at all, right? Or like the Upton brothers. It's like, well, just look at their background. They were not, underserved in any way. But, and not anything against them, but what about those kids that are actually in the inner cities, that are the underserved suburban communities? How do we get them onto the radar and get them the resources they need? And so that's what we're trying to solve for. And it sounds like that's what you're doing as well, Nick.
No, real quick, I got a question. How do you get them interested in actually going through the motions to understand that if they go through it, and how do they react to the treatment y'all give them as far as the tools to get them started? And when do they actually see the transition in themselves to say, all right, if I pay attention a little bit more, I see the benefit of playing a whole different sport as baseball compared to football? Because like I said, with football, I played football in high school, and I played as a kid too, but you see the concentration with the kids in football, like you said, almost like they give them the football as a baby. Basketball players as a kid, basketball in their hand, dribbling at 3, little basketball hoop. And to get kids into a sport that these guys make a lot of bread. but they won't know that if they're not messing with somebody that's so deep into it like you two. So how does that look when you see that happen in a kid that probably didn't think that was possible at all?
Nick, do you want to answer? All right, I can go.
Either one, Mike.
Or Mike. One thing that, and Mike and I talked about this 2 years ago, and it's actually happening now. Our program isn't all black kids. It's not even possible in Pittsburgh. We don't have a team, right? So our goal is to have at least 50%, but we continue, our older team right now is, our 18U team is 50%, but our 16U team is, I think, 65 or something like that. And then we have a development program for even younger kids to get them the skills and stuff, and that's 100% black. So, but our goal a couple years ago, this is what my thought was, let's get other good players that are from the city as well, that may be white, Hispanic, whatever, and have a good, credible on-field product. So these kids see, I don't want to be the inner city team, they've got their glove on their head and it's just a mess. You don't want to be a mess, right? So let's have a good product that can beat anybody's ass on the field anytime. And that has attracted the younger kids to say, oh, wow, they're good. These kids are getting opportunities. I want to be a part of it. And it's starting to work out. And, luckily we've had some kids that have had a lot of success and got scholarships and stuff like that. But the younger kids see that and they can envision themselves, like they look up to them, right? And so that has been, and I think that's so prevalent in football from, 8, they can just look up the whole ladder and see from 8 years old all the way to the NFL. And so we're trying to, establish that where they have people they can look up to, kind of mentors within the program, that maybe a 16-year-old is helping that 13-year-old, moving them along. So that's been one thing that we've tried to do with that. But it is kind of neat to see when it clicks in their head, like, oh, this is actually a viable option for me. I don't have to, play football. I can do something else.
Yeah, we are definitely attracting, more quality players. And because our name's getting out there, the dads, the parents are seeing it. Parents who have kids that are real interested in baseball. We've got a parent now from Newcastle. I'm sure heard of Newcastle, Jermaine. But he's bringing his kids down here to get into our program now. And he's starting to get other kids besides his own sons, coming down. So things like that are starting to change, how we're getting better. They're seeing the quality that we're putting out. We're helping these kids. No, any travel programs just taking your money.
Yeah,
they're not really interested in getting you into college.
They don't even practice a lot of the travel programs. It's just every week is a different tournament. Now some have winter programs, but I have some issues with some of that too. Like I'm a big believer in the 2-3 sport kid, right? Like let them have their seasons. But in the summer, I was like, do you guys practice? Like, no, we just play games. Like they'll play 50, 60 games and never work on anything. And it's like, you can't get better in the game because you can't really actively in the game think about breaking down the game, right? But practice is the time to slow stuff down a little bit so you can focus on your release point, whatever it is, your pivot, something mechanically hitting wise, or, lining up your feet better on your cutoffs. Like, you can't do that in the middle of the game. You have to be reactive. Practice is the time to slow stuff down. And so a lot of these travel organizations are not focusing on the player development, where I'm a bigger believer of actually play a little bit less, practice a little more. Like I'd like to see more of that because you need to work stuff out and not burn yourself playing, 60 games a summer or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's what we do. We tell the kids all the time. Sometimes it's frustrating for them. They want to play in the game, but exactly what you're saying. You get experience in the game, but you can't work on fundamentals in the game or you're going to be killed. And you're right. It's a lot of the travel stuff is about, I understand. Look, I work at a bank. I understand capitalism. I get it. But you can make so much money doing it. But, a lot of it is, hey, I want to win a trophy because if I have the trophy, I can attract more kids and this. And, they want to get great players, not to develop the player. They want that player that's already developed so they can put their logo right next to that kid's name.
Sounds like music.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's interesting for sure, the travel stuff. But yeah, what we say, we always say, like, we're not focused on winning. I expect if we train you correctly to be recruitable collegiate athletes, we're going to win. So it's not really about trying to win games. That's kind of expected as part of what we're doing. College coaches aren't coming to watch bad teams and players that can play. So, it's not so much a focus on winning. It's what can we do on and off the field to make sure you're ready to go to college and at the end get a degree and set your life up.
One of the things that's always made me smile with Nelson is the first time he sees some kid that's a pretty good athlete, he goes, that kid's a scrub. That's his favorite word. And I say, give him some time. And, 6 months, a year later, he goes, hey, that kid's pretty good.
Right.
So I'm always busting Nelson's chops about that. So
They got to be up this standard. You got to hold it a high standard.
you do that.
Legion baseball.
What's that?
American. Am I dating myself? Because I played American Legion baseball. Do they still have that?
So did I.
I don't think they have it here.
Jermaine, how many Legion teams, Jermaine, were there when you played?
I played in Columbus, Ohio. So there was just one team in Columbus, Ohio that I played on. But there was, I played in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah.
All right. When I started coaching at Duquesne, I went out and looked at a lot of American Legion games. And there was probably 60 American Legion teams just in the greater Pittsburgh area.
Wow.
There's now there's 12.
Wow.
Okay. All the kids have gone to travel ball.
And
Yeah.
one thing I neglected to explain exactly, and it's difficult, but one thing that we do with our hardball team is because we're involved with RBI as well, which is the more recreational league. We require all of our players that play on our travel team, they have to play in the recreational league and play for their communities.
Okay.
Just with the thought of, I'm not solving the problem if I just take all the good kids and then put them on a travel team and it's cheaper than the other ones. That you're just perpetuating the problem. So we make them play, partly because they like playing in their communities, but secondly, it raises the quality of the inner city leagues and again, gets those kids wanting to be involved in the game if they know, hey, there's, this kid going to a couple PSAC schools or going to Division I school that's in the league and I'm playing with them in the community. So that's one thing that we require for all our players, that not only they play, on our travel schedule, but they play in the inner city leagues as well.
Got you, man. Hey, look, that was awesome back and forth, awesome dialogue. I'm cutting the third quarter, around the third quarter. We're going to the fourth quarter, gentlemen. Now, Mike, you're the coach, man. Coach Mike Wilson, I want to ask you the keys to hitting. I was told that hitting the baseball is the hardest thing to do in professional sports. So I want to ask you the keys to hitting.
Use your eyes.
See the ball, hit the ball.
Too many kids just don't really use their eyes well enough. You talk about developing a kid's swing. That's one thing. That's all mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
The keys to hitting is different. Hitting is when you get in the batter's box.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on up here?
Yeah.
I think is the most important thing. So you've got to have confidence. You got to believe in yourself. You got to get rid of all distractions and get ready to hit.
Yeah.
So you got your routines. Fix your gloves. Look at the bat. Take the deep breath. Tap the plate. And then just tell yourself, I'm gonna get a pitch I like and crush it. And you just keep telling yourself, come on, meat. Throw me meat. I'm gonna crush it. And if you let any distractions in, you're never gonna be a good hitter.
Never.
Never. So I think it's the mind, it's the mental game, and that's if you get Sean Casey on. Look at Nick there.
Yeah,
no, that's
Harvey Dog.
Nelson. So you get Sean Casey on, he's going to talk all about that. But I'm real curious with Nick. Hey, Nick, what's Examine Baseball?
So I was at the time I was writing for the Examiner. So when I signed up for Twitter, right, it was like putting those two things together, and I just kind of kept it together. But and then I try to write a lot about the game and its history. And I've interviewed countless players over it, and that's why I
interviewed some great baseball players, Negro League players. And don't you have a podcast, Nick?
Yeah, it goes along with with my website, so it's all there together. Like now, I've just merged a lot of the writing when I do interviews for like my column. I just record the interviews and make podcasts out of it because it's easy, right? You get like double you double dip a little bit in those things.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, hitting, like, you know, you were saying also, Michael, about hitting, like, the eye tracking is so important. You know, having a still head, a still mind, it is, you know, because you could talk yourself out of at bat the same way you could talk yourself into it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it. Yeah,
We've all done it.
Wow. Okay, well, check this out. If you're a player or if you're a kid and you have kind of like a lollipop arm, you can't really get no pop, no snap on it, how do you develop and work on get your arm stronger? You got any tips for people out there who want to get that whip?
Most, you know, this is where my expertise is. You know, I look at myself as a coach, you know, more so than, you know, a fan. I'm not into trivia.
Yeah.
You know, I want to watch how players play the game, and then I try to pass it on to the kids. So you get a lot of kids that push the ball. Okay, so what you got to do is, if you can see me, you get them spread out, and then you put something right here, and you got to force that elbow up instead of letting these kids drop the elbow and push.
Yeah,
it's a real simple thing to do. Just hold your hand. You know, I just hold my hand right in front of your chest and force that elbow up. And as soon as the kid does that, all of a sudden it gets the catapult spring effect, and they just start throwing harder. Okay, so once you learn the mechanics of it, then to me it's just, you know, start long tossing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yep.
Long tossing, and of course there's a lot of exercises, arm exercises you can do. I really don't recommend the weighted balls for younger kids. I think you need to wait until you're in college for your arm to be fully developed before you start using the weighted balls, because I've seen too many kids get injured using weighted balls.
Well, they watch videos of guys at like drive line, you know, throwing, you know, pull downs at full speed into a net, you know, and falling down while doing it, and, you know, registering 95 and thinking like that's what they need to do, or doing the drills with the weighted balls, but they don't see the lead up of how these guys got there. They just see the 10-second videos of someone registering, you know, the miles per hour on a radar gun, and they don't see all the lead up. And like, so, you know, even coaches will say, oh, get weighted balls for 14-year-olds because that's what's supposed to go on. It's like their shoulder, elbow is still developing. Like, you know, get the mechanics down first. So like you said, your body has the proper like leverage, arm mechanics. I like watching Marvin Freeman. I don't know if you watch any of his content. He pitched for quite a while in the majors, but Marvin does a lot of mechanic work, but he's simple. But he talks a lot about how you can use your body, and kids need to learn that first.
Yeah.
Amen.
I coached Little League here in Baltimore for 3 years, and it was just like, again, the kids, you didn't have to tell me and my older brother, you didn't have to tell us nothing. We knew baseball, we knew the tag up, we knew everything by 4 years old, you know what I mean? So, but these kids, they have no sense of baseball. They don't know tag up, they don't know how to run the bases, they throw like this, and I'm just like, wow, man, like how does that happen? But again,
no teacher, no Mike Wilson.
Yeah, you didn't grow up with Mike Wilson.
Your dad, it was your dad.
Oh, man.
You constantly got to see your dad, whose mechanics, throwing, hitting, everything, you know, was on the money.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes these kids that you know throw funny.
Yeah.
I'll watch them play catch with their dad, and what's their dad do? Same damn thing, and they're copying it, you know?
You bring up a great point, you know, or how many kids don't have the parents that might not be available for many reasons. Either they're working too much or they're not there.
Yeah.
What are they getting cues from? They're trying to figure it out with no cues.
Or they have like Mike said, the dad that's just bad.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that bother me. I'm like, get out of the dog, get away. Yeah.
Well, I told you I just got a new place, so I'm the new guy in the neighborhood, and I bought a whole bunch of baseball. So anytime I see a little kid in my neighborhood now, hey, come here, I give him a baseball. I say, do you hold this baseball? Then I say, hey, yo, do this. Then they do this. Then they put their hands on the seam. and then their eyes just go, wow, that feels good. I say, come back. You ring on my doorbell anytime, we'll play catch. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just recruiting these kids up on my block. I said, this is going to be a baseball block. There's not going to be any of this throwing on my block. It's going to be.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, and the last one I want to ask you, Mike, is this. Let me get back to this because I done lost my place on my phone. Base running. Now, I'm going to tell you why I bring up base running, because watching the Pirates, man, and some of the base running mistakes the Pirates have made over the years, man, it's just, so how important is base running? Knowing what you're doing on the base path.
And that's the key right there, knowing what you're doing. You know, you don't have to be you don't have to be fast to be a good base runner. Okay, so if you're constantly paying attention, you know, knowing who's got an arm in the outfield, you know, the pitcher's time to home plate, you can even steal a base as a slow guy if you're watching, paying attention. So I think it's real important. But one of the things that I see at the lower levels is all those coaches control the running game.
Yeah.
Okay, like, there's a runner on third base and a fly ball hit to the outfield. I see a lot of coaches that make their kid get down, put his head down like he's starting in the track blocks. Yeah. And then they say, go, instead of letting the kid, you know, turn his head,
see the ball,
and telling himself when to go.
Yeah.
And the game I watched yesterday, there was like two kids that were going to go first to third, but the coach sticks his hands up and stops them. You know, and then you see coaches say all the time, watch me.
Yeah.
I'm in control.
Yeah.
If you can run and all you got to do is just turn your head to see where the ball's at, you make the decision on your own.
Exactly.
And when the kids learn that they're on their own unless the ball's behind them, then you look at the coach. So the coach, to me, base running is going to get a lot better when the little kids learn to make their own decisions.
Wow, you're taking me back to base running drills, man. Wow, I remember those drills when you go from first base, then you have the station at second base, and you got to watch the ball go downfield. And wow, man. Like I said, I haven't done this stuff in over 20 years, maybe 25 years, man. So it's great to hear about this stuff, man.
Yeah, you can't practice that stuff. You got to learn how to do that in a game situation. So, you know, too many coaches, too many parents won't let the kids solve the problem on their own.
Yes.
Simple problems. The dad, the parent always want to butt in. You know.
Yeah, I'm not that type of parent. I kind of like I got a daughter that plays softball, and she's, you know, she got the Sanders in her, so she's pretty cool at it. You know what I mean? I just let her go, man. Man, let her go, man. She knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? Definitely. Well, hey, check this out, fellas. You're going to hear the sound. Here we go. That means we're out of the fourth quarter. The game is over. You guys did a great job. Nelson, man, you were hitting threes. You were running touchdowns. You were hitting home runs during the interview. Mike, you were doing the same, man. So I just want to congratulate you guys on finishing Sands on Sports. And Nick, yo, grand slams, brother. Grand slams. So, while we're getting out of here, I just want to give one shout out myself. This shout out is to my dad. My dad passed away in 1999. Biggest baseball influence besides my mother. My mother is a bigger baseball nut than my dad. She's probably watching reruns of the Pirates games right now. That's what my mom doing. You know what I mean? Call me about the stats from Bradenton, Florida. Matter of fact, my nephew is named Braden after Bradenton, Florida, where the Pirates play spring training. That's just how crazy, nutty my family is about this baseball. So big up to my pops, man. 1999, passed away, but I know he's enjoying this if he's checking this out for sure, man. So on the outro, Nick, do you got anything to say? Let people know about what you're doing, what you got going on, and all that, please.
Oh, man. Yeah, you know, I'm at Examine Baseball basically on every platform. So, you know, check me out. And it's so good to see a familiar face or two here. I haven't seen you in a minute. And Sands, you know, we talked, but it's been a while. And Mike and Nelson, man, it was great to hear y'all perspectives. And hear what you're doing in Nelson. It really sounds like it's a wonderful thing that you're doing in Pittsburgh, and I hope that there's more of it across the country, man.
Hey, I want y'all to know Nick is a good dude, man. I done been on a few of his shows. Very knowledgeable cat in baseball and hip hop. Yeah. And I like. You surprised me with this one, Sam. I know he was gonna be on there.
Oh yeah. Like I said, hey. Matter of fact, I'm gonna rub it in on Sean. I'm gonna text Sean Gibson that because Sean was supposed to be on here and Desiree Rutherford, but it's all good.
Good people, both of them.
This was great right here. So L, how's the album coming? We got the new Artifacts album. We need to update every show about the new Artifacts album produced by Buck Wild. How's that coming along?
It's going good. We still waiting for the information as far as the pressing goes. I mean, COVID's slowing it up a little bit, but it's still slated for like June. Yeah. So I just keep telling everybody the same thing. It's coming this year, so ain't nothing to worry about.
They're doing a lot of the vinyl record pressing over in Europe right now because of COVID, like Germany and Czech Republic. So you can't even get vinyl records pressed in America right now. You got to get them pressed. Or I trust me.
And just the whole high demand of it, So I'm just starting to move around, getting the weather changing. I go to Chicago next week. Do some in-store, some outdoor little set shows or whatever. Yeah. Sell some merch. It's other ways to tackle doing what we're doing. So I'm just trying to adapt to the situation.
Hey, we got to do Baltimore and DC. We need some Baltimore and DC.
No doubt. No, I'm gonna talk to you about that. We just gotta get the final shot.
Definitely. Well, my man Nelson, I appreciate you taking the time to rap with us. Please let the people know about you, your organization on the outro, how to check you guys out, website and all that, please.
Yeah. Instagram, Twitter, it's PGH_hardball. We put all of our videos of our players and stuff and updates out there. Our website's www.pittsburghhardball.org. You can go on there, learn more about the organization, hopefully hit the donate button while you're there. Any donation helps. And I did want to give two shout outs before I jumped off. First, to my mom, who is the person who really got me into baseball. She played softball throughout college and was my coach, coming up. And, it was just me and her basically coming up. And so I didn't have all the resources. And I look back and see all the things that she was able to do and help me get to that level. And make it to college and stuff. So everything has been possible because of her. And then second to, as I mentioned earlier, to Brian Jacobson, who's our partner with all the RBI, Pittsburgh Hardball, the mastermind behind a lot of this stuff. He wasn't able to, join today. He's down watching his son pitch in Charlotte, eating some barbecue ribs. But he's Brian Jacobson's a great guy and really a mastermind behind a lot of what's going on in Pittsburgh as well.
Definitely. I can't wait to get back home, man. And look, you're the first person I'm calling when I make it back to Pittsburgh. You and Mike, we're going to hang out and get a beer or something.
We're going to the Clemente Museum.
We're going to the Clemente Museum. Definitely. Now, Mike, man of the hour, man. Like I said, again, thank you so much for making time for me today, sir. Can you please just give us a little outro, send us home?
Well, I wanted to ask you first, Nelson and I want to go on tour with you. Do you think we got a chance?
Hey, look, I tell you what, you definitely do, but
you got a passport. Get your passport right, and get that vaccine. You can go with it.
I tell you what, get your passport right, you get that vaccine, we're going to Europe. We are going to
Get out of here. Where you want to go? If you had a chance to go to Europe right now, where would you go, Mike?
If I had a chance to go to Europe, I'd like to see Switzerland, I think.
There we go. See, that's the higher. You go broke up in Switzerland, but you have fun.
Yeah. No, I thought this was great, Jermaine. I always enjoy talking baseball, meeting new people and stuff like that. So, and I want to give a shout out to Nelson too, because like I said, Nelson came in 4 or 5 years ago, and the 10 years before that, our program just floundered. Yeah. And, he took the bull by the horn and, he made all this happen. So we got a good man on board, that's for sure.
Definitely, man. Well, hey, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Okay, so check this out, man. We're going to get the hell out of here, man. My name's Jay Sands. That's Nelson. That's Nick. That's Sensei. And that's Coach Mike Wilson. This is Sands on Sports, and we're out of here. Peace.